Yo, what up guys, B5D here, back with a brand new champion guide right here for one that I'm very passionate about. This champion helped me a lot in the early game all the way till the end game before I finally changed her out. And right now in this video I'm going to build her or show her off from the beginner perspective, how you can use her in the early game, and how as an end game player that has been playing for 3 years, I will review this champion in this video and show you how maybe she can be functional for my team right now in the end game. So stay tuned. This Sepulcher Sentinel is the champion that I want to put a spotlight on today, and she's no stranger to Raid Shadow Legends. Everybody knows about her, so if you're looking for how to build her, you should know that she's best known in the early game for her A1 in the clan boss. That's one of the things that she brings to the clan boss. She's one of the few champions in Raid that can put that decrease attack on any boss or any enemy consistently. It has a 40% chance of placing decrease attack, right? But when you book it up right there, it says 50%, 60% chance of placing decrease attack on the A1. Something A1 should be consistently using. There is every chance that if she does not place it this time, she'll place it next time. So it's always a high chance that she'll place this decrease attack. It's kind of as consistent as you can get. It's not 100%, but it really happens a lot. Another skill that she brings to boss battles, especially the clan boss again, is, and the wave content also, is this increased defense and block debuff buff. When your allies in your team have their defensive increased and then block all their debuffs that is going to get to them are blocked by this buff that she's going to place for 2 turns, it means they will take no debuffs on them, and that means the clan boss that hits you with that big stun, which you will also not get the stun. You still take the damage, but you will not get stunned. Even all the slow, all those other effects that he might put on you, if you have this buff up, you will not get it. So a lot of champions who build a little bit of 2000, 2006 or 3000 defense to beat the clan boss, but when you come with extra increased defense, it will help you a lot. If you have damage dealers in your team that do damage based on defense, talking about Razin, talking about there are other champions who do damage based on defense, she is there to also boost that defense up so they can even hit harder and do more damage on their skills. That's what it brings right there. Another awesome thing about this champion, it's a low chance of happening, but it will happen most of the time. It's a 25% chance that can be booked up to a 30, 40, 60% chance that whenever your allies get hit with damage, right, she has a chance 60% of blocking the target ally, of blocking incoming damage. So one ally alongs your team members will take 0 damage. So it happens a lot more than 60% sometimes, especially if you have the right masteries on her that might boost this up a little bit. So if somebody is at 0 HP, they're about to die and they get hit with a big hit, there's a chance that Sepulcher Sentinel, if she's on the team, will help make that ally take 0 damage. This is also useful and kind of hard to use, although it can work sometimes in somewhere like the arena. This champion is built very well. Old build, old design, but she's still working hard in Raid even in this modern day. So it's a champion you definitely want to take to 60 because of, as you can see, all her 2 skills and 1 passive right there is extremely useful. Even her aura increased defense in all battles by 25%. That means in the early game you will most likely use this champion in your leader slot most of the time, except maybe your speed requirement is not up to that, and then you need a speed lead right there in the leader slot. So she is a champion that will be in your leader slot in all battles, whether you're beating the Hydra, whether you're doing Doom Tower normal, whether you're doing clan boss, or you're doing dungeons. She will always be in the leader slot in that early game, and she is also useful in every content in Raid, because most of the content will need you to have somebody to protect you with that increased defense and block debuff buff. Let me show you how she was able to help me, or I had her in the early game, and how she helped me without actually doing a clan boss run. I wanted to go to my champions and show her off, but I'll let you know that this is how I use this champion in the early game, and I'll play this short clip of how my old video that I recorded about the clan boss team, where she helped me get to 3 key ultra nightmare along with Skull Crusher and Sandler Survivor and Rising. That's basically a beginner friendly team, a very beginner team right there, where Sepulcher Sentinel was instrumental to keeping that entire team alive. I'll forward it all the way to the end so we can see the final damage when they all die and see that's what she brings to the team. Decrease attack was on the boss the entire time, and that's the damage that is expected for a team like this, where Sepulcher Sentinel is in the leader slot and decrease attack, blocking all the buff stuns and all that debuff that the boss is supposed to place on us. This is the number one way you want to use her from the early game all the way to Ultra Nightmare. If you're unlucky that you don't have an unkillable team, Demeter, Manita, she's there to build a killable team for you that will also get you Ultra Nightmare damage stats. But the stats is also very important on this champion. Now, let me head over to that early game build that will help you get to that level. So you can see before I change her to the end game build, because yes, I want to rebuild this champion in this video, and I'll show you her early game masteries also. A total stat they are aiming for, like a champion like this for clan boss, should be above 3.5, 3.6 damage, right? I mean defense 3006. That's one of the first stats, important stats that you want to get on her. Another thing that you must know about this champion is when you have enough speed to make it happen, Deadwood Jedi has a 4:3 ratio calculator right here for a team that allows Sepulcher Sentinel to always block the stun, always block the debuff that the clan boss will bring up. So if you don't have her going 4 times to 3 times of the clan boss, you will not get the full benefit of this champion. So it is highly recommended that you build your Sepulcher Sentinel for clan boss in a 4:3 ratio. If you're using her elsewhere, you don't need to follow this 4:3 ratio guide. You can build her maybe different ways, as I'm going to show. So that's the Deadwood Jedi 4:3 ratio speed right there, 239 to 244. And of course, other champions in the team also have to go along with similar this type of speed for this team to work and for her to work successfully. So that's the 2 ways for the early game that a lot of people will use her for. And yeah, either in a clan boss, dungeons, or anywhere else. That's the speed. If you don't have that speed yet, it's totally fine. Now let me head back to my my stats so I can show you what else I had in 227. I think I removed some gear on her. I no longer use her for the clan boss, so I think I'm no longer at that specific speed that was required. But her HP is high, her defense is high. She's not built for damage, so don't try to get crit rate and crit damage from this champion. You want her to survive, and you need accuracy on this champion. Ultra Nightmare accuracy, you're talking about 240, 250 accuracy at least to get that A1 decrease attack placed consistently on the boss. So that's why she has that accuracy, extremely important on her, especially for the clan boss. Now the lifesteal is also an early game set. If you have any way of doing healing or unkillable, maybe you want to do which other set is perfect for her for the early game. At least if you have leech out there, some people use the stalwart set, so stalwart sets can also work on a champion like this who is very tanky. Where is my stalwart? Right here. So these are the 2 sets I'll most likely recommend for early game. But lifesteal is essential and really important. She heals herself back to full health whenever she does that A1. So for her, a little bit of her gear is accuracy right here, HP, defense is one thing that I'm actually looking for. So I have HP on the defense right here, defense on the substats, that speed. You really need a lot of speed substat to get to that speed in the early game. Even speed and sets help me got there. All right, for masteries on this champion is pretty straightforward. Clan boss champion masteries. Most clan boss champion will go for a mastery like this, especially if they're a debuffer. They will have this extra accuracy coming right here, and then this one to increase the duration, a chance to increase the duration of that decrease attack she plays is important. So in case sometimes she's not placing it, you have it going on for 3 turns instead of 2 turns. So that's also nice for her. And then check out, increases the chance of placing any debuff from skills. That means all those are skills that says 85%, 60%. This will add an additional 5% chance for it placing. That means her decrease attack on the A1 will be up to what, a 90% chance of placing. So just add 5% to what the skill says. That is what this mastery sniper is really important on this champion right here. So of course, this is how she does damage, War Master, and she heals herself back to full health. So that's the masteries, basic normal clan boss masteries for Sepulcher. Nothing special about her. Now time for us to talk about where I can use her in the end game. Well, before I go head over to rebuilding her, I have to also say that even in her current build, she helped me beat the level 80 floor 80 of hard Eternal Dragon, because this boss hits so hard if you don't have decrease attack on him. So she's the champion that came in here and put decrease attack on this boss. So I have high resist and all that on these champions and cleansers, but if you don't have decrease attack on this boss, he will hit so hard. So that's why she was there. I do damage basically by HP burn, and Eternal Dragon is another place you can use her, maybe in the end game. Eternal Dragon hard, or if you're in normal, you can use her for that content also. It's time for us to head over to some early game, maybe Dragon run, and see how Sepulcher Sentinel can do the run before we switch out her gear. I'm not trying to make this one extremely long, but we have to show her everywhere possible where you can use her before I switch out her gear and she becomes only useful in one place in the end game. I don't even want to talk about faction wars, because a champion like this will be an MVP for the faction war, obviously. So I've put together this beginner friendly dragon team that can maybe help us take down any wave content, while Sepulcher Sentinel will help you keep your allies alive by putting that increased defense on them and then block the buff on them. I just want to show a little bit of what she can do for your team without actually doing that more damage to the wave. I'm not going to run this one all the way to the end. I just want you to see what she's actually doing, protecting us when we take damage. I'm waiting for us to take damage. Ooh, she hits hard though. Damn, went down so fast. Come on, are we going to take any damage? So the champions that lost that debuff buff got decreased defense on them, while the others were without it. So she's just here. She's not doing any healing or anything, but that increased defense and block debuff buff is important, so you don't take debuff that will make you take a lot more damage. All right, I'll end it there. That's what she can bring to your team. Increased defense, being in the leader slot like this, make sure you survive a little bit longer. So bring her into every dungeon. I don't care whether it's Ice Golem, even in Spider, when that block debuff buff is on you, your allies will not take that spiderling poison that they will place on you. So that's something to consider. Even in Fire Knight, she will also help. Although she does have only one hit on the A1, she can help during the wave content. All right, let me pause now and go and rebuild her and come back with an end game Sepulcher Sentinel that I'll most likely not use, but I just feel like it's time for us to take away that her old gear and revamp her a little bit and put some new gear on her, just for kicks and giggles, because it's not a champion I use, but it's one that is essentially important in the early game, mid game, and end game. Tricky ultra nightmare if you don't have unkillable teams. I'll be right back with my end game build for Sepulcher Sentinel that I'm hoping will be useful somewhere in 3v3 arena. She's a menace right there. Sometimes not in platinum or anything, but at least if you're trying to build that type of 3v3 team, she's one of those champions that can be hard to deal with when you have a tanky go second team right there. All right, I'll be back with my end game build so I can do away with all this 5-star gear on my account that I no longer need. Be right back, guys.
A few moments later.
All right, I'm back with my end game Sepulcher Sentinel build, and you're seeing me flex protection set, one of the sets, newer set in raid that I've not had the opportunity to use on many champions. So I have a lot of them right here on my inventory, just stacking up, that we get from the Hydra. So what better time than to put it on a champion like her that actually puts buffs out on the allies, and these buffs that she puts out will be protected, like this set says right there. If you have 6 pieces of it, 30% chance that the buffs cast by wearer will be protected. So that's why she's in this set. I could have gone stalwart, but I'm not intending to use her for anything like the clan boss. I still intend to use this champion against the Hydra. Well, not that of the Hydra, I mean the end game content like I showed earlier. Where is it? Chrome. Yes, I intend to still use her against this Eternal Dragon boss, because this is still the same team I have in my preset that takes down this boss. So with this her new stats, she'll even be better out there because she'll be protecting these buffs. Well, he doesn't remove the buffs or anything, but at least it will be better for maybe content like the Hydra. So this build was actually put on her mostly because I don't use this set, and because I'm looking forward to using this set on somebody else in the future. So she's not going to be automatically using every content, but this is an end game build. I just wanted to take that lifesteal out of her, and the stats I'm looking at right now is close to 4k defense, still around 60k HP if I begin to glyph up some things better. And then the speed went up a little bit to 223, a little bit. Still no crit rate, still no crit damage. If you want to squeeze in crit damage into this champion, you can go ahead, but I just prefer to have her tanky and do her buffing and all that good stuff. High resist will help in content like the Hydra, yes, and of course against this boss that is actually on the screen too. Oh, I didn't take off this off the screen. All right, so that's all the new stats right there. And yeah, Sepulcher Sentinel will work better, still enough accuracy to put that decrease attack on either the Hydra boss or in the Doom Tower. These are still the two content I'm looking to use her for in the end game. So in something content like the Sun Devil Necropolis or content like the Iron Twins Fortress, this champion will still do the same thing she does for the wave content, which is increase defense and decrease attack on the boss themselves, so they can do less damage to your teams. There is one thing I forgot to mention, and that is her blessing. Yes, I do have a 5-star blessing on this champion, and I put this commanding presence on her, which strengthens her team's aura by 15%. So if she's in the leader slot, whatever defense she has, she's just gonna, add a little bit of more stats to it. HP and resistance right there in this commanding presence, helping her to have a little bit more tankiness. So that's my Sepulcher Sentinel. I should have done her about 80k HP, but I prefer to put more defense on this champion then HP. So that's my end game build. Dust her off out of your vault, at least for the purpose of getting all those new artifacts you have and putting on her, so she doesn't still stay with old artifacts that you will never use. So scrap. I didn't even remove those artifacts. I actually deleted them from my inventory, and that's one of the ways you can use to get more space, artifact storage space in your if you're really end game like me, so you can gear old champions like this, even if you don't have any YouTube channel to do a champion guide about them and show them off. So that's my Sepulcher Sentinel for the early game. Hope you enjoyed that early game review, and also in the end game where we're not actually going to use her in any content right now, but that's the two places I'm going to use her, maybe in the Hydra, Eternal Dragon, or something like Clan Boss in a third team that requires well, these are simple teams right now that require tankiness like this. She can come into a tanky team like this. If I want, just let's say you don't have Mitrala, you don't have somebody like that, Sepulcher Sentinel can come in. Recently used. So this is going to be almost extremely difficult to kill, but a cleanser in that spot is better. But you know what I mean. You can put her in the leader slot instead of this champion if you want more defense, or if you're dealing with a defensive based nuker in that defense, in that damage slot. All right, help me hit like in this video if it helps you out. If you disagree with anything I said in this video, of course you can always drop in the comments. I'm looking forward to better ways to use Sepulcher Sentinel in the end game right now. And of course, early game users, head over to Deadwood Jedi, check out that 4:3 ratio calculator right there, and use her for your clan boss, for your dungeons, and eventually you get to end game, and then you have better champions for that role. I guess I'll see you guys in the next one. Don't forget to subscribe. Later, guys.